and thank you for joining us for this week's Rise and Thrive with EHE Health, an interactive series where we discuss all things health together. Today, we're joined by Cara Clark, a wellness expert, author, speaker, and who will be talking us through how to include proper nutrition when headed back to the work environment. Welcome, Cara.
Thanks for having me, Jody. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy you're here.
So as we go back to work and incorporate healthy lunches, by the way, I actually think it's easier when you go back to work to be on a structured routine system. I think people struggled being at home, honestly. I think there's too many options available, maybe a little too much extra time on their hands. So the beautiful thing about going back to work and restructuring your day around your meals is that you only have a little bit of time and you have to actually mentally and physically prepare for this. So I like the idea of people going back to work and getting back into a routine, especially for healthy lunches.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. Me too. So if you're transitioning back to the work in person, I agree. It's time to start thinking of, hey, what's for lunch? And this transition can be a great time to consider what food habits that you'd want to bring along from home and along with you to your new normal, and the stuff that you just want to leave at home. The goal is to make lunch as easy and enjoyable as possible, whether that's meal prepping or grabbing on the go. Be sure to include your favorite fruits and vegetables in your lunch bag or at the restaurant to add a pop of color and a punch of nutrients to your day. So the bottom line is food and eating must be enjoyable. Whatever this looks like for you, make it as easy as possible. And remember to take several sets of experiments to find out what works best for you. So eating sensibly and avoid overindulging. When you're in the office, you might want to be mindful about what you put into your body. It can be easy to take advantage of the workplace's free snacks or bring your favorite treats from home. Make sure you eat your junk food in moderation and have some of your favorite healthy snacks on hand just in case temptation strikes. So what this kind of looks like for me, I like to bring dried fruit. I love nuts like cashews and peanuts and almonds. Having something like guacamole or hummus with bell peppers or carrots to dip into it. I like to keep some tuna pouches on hand for that protein hit. Also, jerky goes nicely into my purse if I forget to bring something else. Apples and apple slices with nut butter, peanut butter, almond butter, whatever, sun butter, whatever you like, are a great snack that gives you a little bit of protein, a little bit of fiber, a little crunch. You also want to make sure that you drink enough water throughout the day. So through any given work day, it can be easy to get busy and lose track of how much water you drink. So make sure you try to consume between 6 to 8 glasses of water a day to remain active and well hydrated throughout your day.
I love that. Those are a lot of my favorite snacks and a lot of my favorite tips too. I do always like to add lemon to my water first thing in the morning to increase the hydration and just set my body up for better digestion throughout the day. But man, you really nailed all my snacks. But I can't think of anything worse in a work day than that 3 o'clock feeling when all you want is sugar or coffee. So the biggest thing I recommend, especially in lunches, if you're back in the office, is making sure you have enough energy support. So enough fuel, AKA calories. I just hate to use that word calories because I don't like people to actually count their calories. Like Jody said, I love pops of color. And one thing that I teach is eating 5 colors a day. A lot of times my clients, they're overachievers and they even like to get 5 colors in a meal. This not only provides antioxidants, it gives you that energy burst you need, and then all the fiber to hold you over until that next meal, helping to avoid that coffee and chocolate. For me, that would be my craving if I didn't eat enough lunch. That's always what I notice too, is then by 3 o'clock, I need like one of my kids' lunch snacks that's off limits, except for when I pack lunches or something like that. I'm like, well, I needed to focus better on lunch. And I love that funny meme that says, I ate a hard-boiled egg for breakfast, a green salad for lunch, and 59,000 calories for dinner because you've been starving yourself all day. And I know a lot of busy professionals are the biggest culprits of under eating throughout the day. So one thing I kind of wanted to focus on as I just introduced my philosophy, we call it the CCN way of life because it's important to, you know, set lifestyle standards and not just meal goals or like, that's why I don't recommend counting anything except colors. But I do recommend eating every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. And so those snacks that Jody was mentioning are so clutch for 3 o'clock in the afternoon or even 11 o'clock in the morning or, you know, sometime in between the actual meals to bridge you to your next meal. Those are amazing. It's amazing to get colors in, your healthy fats, your protein. So eating every 3 to 4 hours is the key to kind of balancing your blood sugar, helping your mood, helping your body burn fat, and then keeping your energy levels stable throughout the day, as well as your brain functioning as smooth as possible. The other thing I notice when I get hungry personally, or hangry, I should say, and my clients also notice is their mental sharpness kind of drops and they lose focus and they lose attention to detail. And, you know, most of our jobs are pretty important to pay attention to detail. So it's important to be mentally sharp. And we don't always realize that food is what fuels that mental sharpness. And so eating every 3 to 4 hours a day, but also combining our macronutrients, which I'm sure by the way you mentioned your snacks, Jody, you obviously do very well yourself. Combining our carbs with fats and proteins every single time we eat, not just for lunch, but for every meal and all of our snacks throughout the day. Obviously, lunch is super important to get you through the workday. So what I do see people that, hey, they're trying to live like a healthier lifestyle, they are on track and they're being good, is they tend to be under eating lunch with their big bulky salads. And so swap those salads for power bowls or leftovers. Jody has some great ideas coming up for you guys. And I implement these into my daily life. But I kind of wanted to show you, give you an idea of what combining your macros looks like and what 50% carbs, 20% protein, and 30% fat looks like in an actual meal. Is that okay to go over right now, Jody?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I built what I'm going to be eating for lunch today. And all of this stuff is already pre-made or I bought jarred from various stores. Like the hard-boiled eggs are from Trader Joe's. I'm sure I could make my own hard-boiled eggs, but they never turn out that good. The jalapeno peppers are also from Trader Joe's jarred. The beets are from Costco. The Brussels sprouts I roasted myself because I don't like the oils that they use when they roast Brussels sprouts at the store. I added chili, lime, pistachios. I have cucumber. I have red pepper. I have lettuce under here, but these are my favorite, the siete chips. And honestly, if I don't have like a crunchy snack with every single meal, I almost don't feel satisfied. So the key to that for me is healthy snacks that are made with good ingredients from stores that I can trust, like Thrive or Whole Foods or whatever. And so the breakdown would be the carbohydrates coming from the chips and the beet, the protein in the egg and the nuts, as well as the healthy fat in the egg and the nuts. Obviously, I have multiple colors of fruits and vegetables. And so I'm nailing all three macronutrients. I have a ton, like a large beet in here for my carbs. Otherwise, if I didn't have the beet, I would have some sort of grain like rice or quinoa.
Cara, that looks beautiful and delicious. I'm very jealous of your lunch today.
Do it again.
Lovely.
And it took me 5 minutes to make because I had everything on hand, which I noticed you talk about being prepared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So sometimes we want to take the easy way out. And rather than doing all the meal prepping and making a beautiful power bowl like Kara's got, sometimes we want to go out and grab lunch. And so here are some tips to when grabbing lunch. And if you go out for pizza, maybe do a thin crust pizza or even a cauliflower crust pizza so that you can have fewer refined carbs. You can double the veggies, half the cheese and half the meat, and you got a little bit lower in fat and a lot higher in those colors. You go out for burgers, maybe look for a sandwich that just has one meat patty, and 1 slice of cheese. If it's possible, you can request a whole grain bun and just pile on the veggies that they do offer. Like the lettuce leaves and the tomatoes and the onions. For side dishes, if you actually go out to a sit down restaurant, you want to watch these side dishes to make sure that you avoid the excessive fat and calories. Ways you can do this is avoiding anything that's fried or the creamy stuff. So, like, your French fries, your fried onion rings, your macaroni and cheese. You might want to look and replace that with what they have on hand as a veggie or a side salad, some fresh fruit, or even a baked potato. I do advise my clients sometimes, if you're going to a place that might not have these on hand, it's okay to pack your own in your purse and just eat out for the main dish and add your own veggies and your fruits to that. Another idea to just kind of do the little portion control thing, order off the kids menu. The portions are much smaller and you might save a few dollars. Mexican food is very, very popular around here. Things that you can do to help with Mexican food is you can make it a little heavier on the beans, cut back a little bit on the meat, to make sure that you get that bump of fiber, that protein, that iron, and that calcium. And use the cheese sparingly with the Mexican food and ask for extra veggies, those peppers and those onions. And sometimes they make the most wonderful at the Mexican restaurants I've got around me, broccoli and cauliflower mix that they put into that cast iron skillet. It's great.
Yeah.
So meal prepping might take some time to get used to. Cara has given us some beautiful examples on how to do a power bowl, but it's a step in the right direction and a direction towards a healthier you. And it might find that it might just become your favorite new healthy habit. So thank you so much for joining us, Cara.
Oh, thank you for having me. I know, like you said, one step in the right direction is an important thing to remember. I think people sometimes want to be all or nothing, but maybe if you could just focus on your lunches with the tips that Jody and I gave you for the next week, you'll notice that you're able to have the energy to withstand the workday. So I love that, Jody.
Thank you. And Cara, can you tell us where they can find your information? Do you have a website address?
Yes, my website and everything across the board with social media is caraclarknutrition.com, and Instagram would be Cara Clark Nutrition, as well as Pinterest and Facebook. We are very active and we, keep our community going and lively at all times. So you reach out to us at any time for any questions.
And feel free to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram for additional content. Thank you all for participating on this, and I hope you have a lovely day.
Bye.